The Rays and Red Sox had an eventful game on Monday. Let's break it all down on Fantasy Baseball Today Express. Welcome into FBT Express on Tuesday, April 15th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White. Let's take a look at that Rays-Red Sox game. The Rays clobbered the Sox in this one. And at the top, the breakout might be happening for Shane Baz, who went 6 innings, 1 unearned run, 11 strikeouts to 0 walks, and through 3 starts, it's a 1.42 ERA, a .84 whip. Underlying numbers look fantastic. Scott, is it happening?
I think it is. This is now 2 outings in 3 with double-digit strikeouts for Shane Baz, and the one in between, the one that didn't have double-digit strikeouts, was the when he went deepest. So it was a great start too for Shane Baz. So you mentioned the 11 strikeouts, 17 whiffs on 98 pitches. That was 6 on the fastball, 5 on the curveball, 6 on the changeup. So 3 pitches there that were getting whiffs at a high rate. And you notice I didn't mention the slider. He only threw 2 sliders in this one. The slider, when Shane Baz first got called up in what was his main pitch, it was the big bat misser. But when he came back from Tommy John surgery last year, he didn't seem to have it anymore. And it seems like he does. He's like acknowledging he doesn't have the slider anymore, but he has all these other pitches now, including a great fastball, which is the best weapon a pitcher can have. It hit 100, nearly round up to 100 in this start. So Shane Baz looked dominant, throwing plenty of strikes, getting plenty of whiffs, and we know he has the pedigree as the former top pitching prospect in baseball. I think it's finally happening.
All right, let's move on to the Rays bats. They put up 16 runs on 16 hits in this game. Yandy Diaz went 2 for 4 with his 3rd home run. His last 6 games, 9 hits, 3 homers, 7 runs scored. Reminder that things can turn around very quickly for hitters this time of year. Junior Caminero.
Caminero.
2 for 5 with his 4th home run in this one. He is batting .291 with an .867 OPS, hitting the ball hard early on. Also, lots of ground balls. So if he does raise that launch angle, I think more power could be on the way for Junior Caminero. Scott, let's talk about your boy, Jonathan Aranda. 2 for 5 with a double, 2 runs, and 2 RBI here. Batting .395 with a .460 on base percentage and .1158 OPS. He has started 12 of 16 games so far. 46% rostered on CBS. Should that number be higher?
I think it should, because I think the upside is enormous, and I think everybody's starting to get a glimpse of it now. You just go to his StatCast page, his Baseball Savant page. It's like Urkel's report card. He's got a 97th percentile xWOBA, 96th percentile X batting average, 97th percentile X slug, 98th percentile average exit velocity, 94th percentile barrel rate, 96th percentile hard hit rate, and on and on and on. And these were the kinds of numbers Aranda was putting up 2 years ago in the minors. It wasn't just the surface level numbers. It was all the underlying numbers looked amazing for him too. But that year, this would be 2022. No, I'm sorry, 2023 at AAA Durham. Aranda hit .339 with 25 homers and a .1063 OPS, a .449 on base percentage. This wasn't just 95 games, 25 home runs. Like, this guy is an amazing hitter. And you noticed I was referring back to 2023. Last year, Aranda had to have surgery for a broken finger right away, had an oblique injury later. That kind of messed him up. But he finished the year strong and obviously earned the job to begin this year. So the only issue with Aranda now, as you mentioned, he sat out 4 games, wasn't in the lineup for 4 games, all against lefties. And is that going to change for the Rays? Well, a couple points on that. One is that even when he hasn't been in the starting lineup, he's often come off the bench and gotten a bat or 2. So, the left-hander isn't going to throw a complete game usually. So we shouldn't just completely eliminate Aranda when he doesn't start. And 2, he probably will start against some left-handers. I know the Rays love their platoons, but if Aranda keeps hitting like this, he's clearly becoming a focal point of the lineup. We saw them a couple years ago start to introduce Josh Lowe against left-handers more. they've never, or at least not in a long time, treated Brandon Lau like a strict platoon player. He does sit against a fair number of lefties, but not all the lefties. And I think Aranda could be in for a similar role, which would allow him, I think, to emerge as a highly regarded player. I mean, one issue I haven't brought up is there've been so many emerging first basemen this year between Tyler Soderstrom and Spencer Torkelson and Ben Rice and Michael Busch, who also has the platoon concerns. So how do you choose between them? Well, I do have Aranda second to last of that group because of the platoon issue, but I have him ahead of Busch, and he's one of the more available ones at this point.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back in FPT Express. We're going over this Rays Red Sox game from Monday. Just so much happening in this game. Two other hitters that could be available, Scott. Christopher Morel, who is off to a nice start here. Once upon a time, a player that both of us liked here on this podcast. He's only 54% rostered, has second, third, and outfield eligibility. And Cameron Meisner, for those in much deeper leagues, 3 for 4 with a double dong in this game. Scott, would you be looking to add Morel, I guess, in a shallower format and Cam Meisner in any deeper leagues?
Yeah, I mean, I know I've liked Morel before, but I liked him because he hit the crap out of the ball, and he's not doing that right now. His average exit velocity is only 28th percentile, and he's striking out at nearly a 40% rate. That is a bad combination. So I'm not sure it's happening for Morel. He's still only 25. Maybe some things normalize in a good way here. But no, I wouldn't say I'm particularly eager to pick him up outside of rotisserie leagues, larger rotisserie leagues where you need that multi-eligibility. And he's probably already rostered in those, frankly. And the other one, Meisner. So he's a speedy player, Cameron Meisner. Speedy player, can steal bases. One of his 2 home runs was a 1 out of 30 home run. It would have only been a home run in the park he hit it in. Went 355 feet. He does elevate to his pull side well enough that I could see him being somewhat useful for power. And if you got the speed there too, that's a pretty good combination. But it's really strikeouts I worry about most of all for Cameron Meisner, because he kept close to a 30% strikeout rate throughout his minor league career. And it's been low so far in the majors, but yet you got to think a guy in his late 20s with that kind of track record, that's going to normalize in time. So I would leave Cameron Meisner for deeper 5 outfielder leagues.
And who did the Rays do all of this damage off of? Tanner Houck, 2 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 12 runs allowed, 11 of those earned, raises his ERA all the way up to 9.16. He is still 84% rostered. Scott, is this an insta drop for Tanner Houck?
Yes. And frankly, I would have dropped him a while ago. This has been, look, he had a great first half last year. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was 8.8 K per 9, 1.6 walks per 9. Amazing control. That was the most surprising thing for Tanner Houck in the first half last year. But then the final 3 months, 6.2 K per 9, 3.7 walks per 9. Pretty bad. And that's more in line with what we'd seen from him before then. Carried over into this season, we're seeing much of the same. I just think it was a flash in the pan early last season for Houck, and there's not much to see here going forward.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today Express, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.